This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Over the last 3 weeks, I've been filming all of my workouts. I've also been recapping on each session and documenting a little of my day-to-day life in between. I think I've made what you might call a vlog. The aim being to show how I train on a daily basis and to share my process a little. It's all well and good talking about combining training styles and using these different methods. What does that actually look like? How much of this stuff do I still use on a daily basis? And how do you fit that around a busy lifestyle as a parent? For those of you not familiar with the channel, my goal is basically to train like Batman, within reason. As in, the idea is that I'm not just training to be stronger, I'm not just training for aesthetics, rather I'm training to try and be faster, stronger, more functional, more mobile, more endurance, etc. This month has been all about getting back to basics though. I'd had a small break from the gym and it's been very rainy, so I haven't had as much time to do my usual outdoor training. But that's fine, there are contingencies. It's also been a month with lots of time off work and training and the usual kids getting sick stuff. I'll let it run now, but let me know if you like this kind of thing. If so, I might make it a regular feature on the channel. So now I'm just heading back from my first workout after a little bit of a hiatus. I've been recovering from a back injury and then I had a stomach bug and it's the kids' half term, so training just hasn't been on point, which is a shame because I've gotten some really good momentum going. You know me, I obviously don't take complete breaks. I'm still doing things like bodyweight squats in the kitchen, practicing my hand balancing, etc. But the actual proper workout, you know, I've had like 1 or 2 in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, kind of getting back into the groove, and it wasn't the best workout. I'm obviously still feeling a little bit fatigued and things, I think, so I was, you know, just a bit slower. Sometimes you get this feeling like it's all right if you're not as strong, I can cope with that, but sometimes you feel like your nervous system is a bit spent and everything feels like more effort. So I did make some adjustments as I went. Bench pressed a little bit less because my shoulder and wrists weren't feeling 100%, and I broke some of the more compound calisthenics moves that I was going to do at the end down into their kind of constituent isolation movements. So instead of doing, you know, a whole bunch of pseudo planche push-ups and handstand, you know, pike handstand type work, I instead focused on just dumbbell pressing overhead and some cable tricep push downs. So, you know, less fatiguing on the nervous system, but still getting some stimulus, still building the muscles, getting the blood flowing back there. I usually find that the first one back is a bit like this and then it gets better as it goes. So fingers crossed for my next session. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. At the moment, the structure of my workouts is essentially to do kind of skills / warm up at the beginning. That means jump rope now, a little bit of heavy bag work, though I forgot my mitts again today, and kettlebells later on, hand balancing, which was awful today. The hand balancing was awful actually because I always have thought that I had a shoulder mobility limitation when it came to my hand balancing, my handstand push-ups and things. Turns out it wasn't that at all. I can easily get my arms over my head. The issue is that I'm scared of falling over, and also I have more control when I'm in a pushing position. It's kind of how I've practiced doing it, especially for underbalancing. So I'm having to more get used to keeping my arms by my head, which means I feel like I'm going to topple over more. So it's a kind of fear reflex that stops me from doing that properly. Now I've discovered this. It's funny, you can do something for like a year and not realise something fundamentally wrong like that, but that's kind of what I like about training actually, is learning the movement patterns and discovering more about yourself and making adjustments. You know, strength, muscle comes and goes, but learning and creating these neural pathways, they can last a lifetime, as seen in cases where people have, you know, severe memory loss, can't even remember who they are, but they can still play the piano. So that's the stuff you really want to work on, and that's the stuff that's going to prevent injury and unlock more movements. So yeah, it's good news, but it means that I'm kind of starting my hand balancing again from the beginning, essentially, like it's worse than it was before, combined with the kind of low level fatigue, and yeah, that wasn't really much. But yes, I'm doing that kind of skills training at the start of the workout, and then that warms me up. Then I move on to the heavy compound lifts. So I was doing bench press today. I can easily do, you know, 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, 100 kilograms. But today I wasn't feeling it, so I just listened to my body and eased up on that. Yeah, and then from there I go on to doing isolation / bodybuilding type stuff, and then finish up with, you know, some real mobility training, And essentially this is the same structure in a way to the protein performance system. I'm doing kind of the same thing, not getting as insane a metabolic buildup as you do with those big drop sets I designed, but you are training all the energy systems. I'm training max strength and creating metabolic buildup, which is the underrated goat of performance and muscle building. So it's Tuesday, this is my first day back at work, and so my first day back training hard for, a longer period of time. The last workout I did, the last one I filmed that you guys saw was on Friday, and I wanted to take the weekend off and then get back to it in a big way on Monday, but I forgot that I agreed to take the day off on Monday because my daughter's off school and we had some appointments to go to. So yeah, there's been a big gap. Again, that doesn't mean I've not done anything. I've been practicing hand balancing, I've been doing kettlebell swings in the kitchen, lots of mobility work. And on Saturday, I took my son to soft play and I just crawled around the place the entire time, turning that play into crawls. And I really felt it in my core and in my shoulders the next day. So that was actually, a decent-ish workout. It's been a pleasant weekend. I spent Saturday with my son at the soft play. My daughter was at a party. Sunday, we went to a farm, saw some goats. And then Monday, that was, we had some appointments, like I say, some chores, son's health visitor appointment. Then my daughter shut her finger in the car door and the whole door was actually shut with her finger in it. She was screaming, there was blood everywhere, it was awful. We went to A&E. She's fine, but yeah, that was a harrowing experience. So yesterday was very tiring and I've woken up kind of achy today. I've got an achy neck, got an achy hand. So not making excuses, I'm telling you this because I want you to know that here's me trying to train like Batman because I enjoy it, but I don't want to put forward this idea that I'm doing all this cool stuff, constantly training at max level. Like, this is a lot of what it's like. It's adapting on the fly. So again, I think a lot of the moves I would do normally that would be compound, I'm going to be breaking down into their constituent parts, make them more isolated. At the same time, I'm also filming today for a video. I'm doing a video on functional training for the shoulders that also builds aesthetics. So I'm going to be throwing in a bit of extra shoulder stuff that I wouldn't normally do. And again, this is another example of my work kind of getting in the way of my training a little bit because, that's not what I'd be focusing on today normally. But I've only got 2 days to film this week because that's how long I took off. I want to be off with my kid. Why be self-employed like this if you're not going to use that opportunity to spend more time with your kids? So that's what's going on. Let's go and see how the workout goes, shall we? Ugh. Workout, bit rushed again, but it went kind of okay. So I brought with me today some little push-up stands / mini parallettes to try and mitigate the hand and wrist pain, and that actually worked really well. So I managed to pump out those pike push-up lift-offs. I was very happy with those. Unfortunately, the weights room, the real weights room, was closed for renovations, which was annoying because I didn't know it was going to happen. I was ready to return to heavier squats today, and I also wanted to do some bench press. Whether or not I'd be able to go up to a higher number, I don't know, but either way I wasn't able to do it because it was closed, and the only option other than dumbbells, which only went up to 20 kilograms, was to use a barbell that went up to 30 kilograms. So that's what I did. Managed to get the footage I needed for the shoulder video. Got recognized by somebody, which is always nice, and an older gentleman, which is especially nice because that's not my usual target demographic, so it's nice to know other people are watching. He came over and was like, "Oh, I'm not going to disturb you," and I was worried he was going to say like, "But get your camera out of this gym," and he was actually just really nice. So that was cool. Just a side note, I broke my gym bag the other day, my Sonic the Hedgehog gym bag that I've had for like 10 years. Very sad about that. So I'm travelling with just a carrier bag, a Sainsbury's bag or a Tesco bag. Look like I'm a vagrant, wandered into the gym. Not the kind of fitness YouTuber lifestyle look that most people go for. But I'm the sort of person, I want another Sonic messenger bag, and I'm the sort of person who will now not get around to doing that for months and months. I'm not sure what you call that kind of person. I think it's an idiot. Just to give you a little bit of sort of like lifestyle insight beyond just training at the gym, I'm now off to Tesco to pick up lunch to have with the wife and kids. Yeah, Emmy's still on school holiday, so we'll be eating that. Then I'll be back to work, and I'm also going to try and squeeze in, 40 minutes worth of work in the Tesco cafe. It's a nice cafe there, and I just love working in cafes. Actually, change of plans, we're going to Sainsbury's, and they've also got a nice cafe to get some work done. and some coffee. Is this interesting to you? Do you guys want to see more vlogs, or is this just complete nonsense? Or is it, there is the option that it's complete nonsense, but sort of interesting? I think it's alright if you're a long-time viewer, but if you're just like someone who's never watched my channel before and you're tuning on this, you're like, what is up with this guy? He's like, I'm Batman. I'm so injured, I can't put any weight on my wrist. Now I'm going to talk to you about my Sonic the Hedgehog bag whilst I drive to Sainsbury's. Classic fitness YouTube content. If you don't have much time for a coffee, but you're a bit too much of a wuss to drink an espresso like me, order a cortado. They're small and creamy and delicious. They come recommended. I hope you guys enjoy this. I know it's a little bit different and perhaps less structured, but I'm hoping to drop some kind of like tidbits of information and some ideas and some inspiration in there. And also just, I've done a lot of technical breakdowns, a lot of research, and now I think it would be nice to kind of look at what that looks like in a day-to-day basis, dealing with the realities of kids and injuries and having to do a Sainsbury's shop, and also how you can kind of implement that and adapt it. And again, I don't do all this stuff exactly the way I write it and I say it because of these issues, and I want to demonstrate that isn't necessarily a problem. It's normal if that's the case for you, and you've got to adapt. And I've been thinking, as I was training today in particular, you have to be able to adapt. That's like one of the most important factors when it comes to your ability to stick to a workout. If you can only train at the gym, if you can only train, if the bench press is free, and if you can only train if you're feeling 100%, then there's very few days where you're gonna, just be able to do a good workout. Another workout done. I wanted to film this little vlog section somewhere different, but it's raining, so we're back in the car. I only did today's workout only because I can't train tomorrow or the next day because I'm off work with my daughter. For the non-parents among you, what you need to understand is that it's really hard fitting in time to train. And this might sound like an excuse or a cope from parents, but it's really true, because when I come home from a day at work, my wife's been looking after the kids for like the last 8 hours and they're bouncing off the walls, all of them. She understandably wants a break. If I disappeared off to the gym for an hour and a half, she'd be frustrated, dinner would be late, and also I wouldn't get to see the kids at all because they'd be in bed by the time I get home. So the only way you can do it is to go really early or in the afternoon. That means you need to fit it in around your work. And luckily for me, I'm a fitness influencer, so I'm able to make it part of my work. But that's actually something I'm doing extra at the moment, because before, my videography, running the channel, got in the way of my training. I've decided I want to vlog the journey, partly because I think it'll be useful for you guys, but partly as well because I think it'll be useful for me, allowing me to focus more on my training, my authentic training, and log the journey and see myself progress steadily instead of doing all these crazy different things every week. So yeah, we're going to see how that goes. But that's why, I can't train the next 2 days. I've got the time off to be with my family, so I kind of got to be with my family. So I slotted in this extra workout. And because I was feeling a bit better, my wrist and my arm were feeling much better. I've still got a crick in the neck, but they were feeling much better. So I was going in there hoping to do heavy bench press today, and then also maybe to do a heavier squat. I say heavy squat, but I'm still doing it light because I'm in rehab for my back. Just again feeling much better, which is so fantastic for me. But anyways, I went in there with that plan, and unfortunately the repair work on the air conditioning at the gym has been extended, so it wasn't available at all, which really sucked. So instead I went back to something I've been doing before, which is overcoming failure isometrics on the heavy chest press. Basically, it's a drop set, but each time I reach failure, I don't just put the weight down, I struggle and force against the weight for 6 seconds, which is the magic number for overcoming isometrics. And there's no research on this is my idea, but all of my intuition tells me this should build max strength by training you to send a stronger neural signal to the muscle to recruit more muscle. So yeah, that's something I've been experimenting with. I was quite happy actually because I did 135 kilograms for 5 reps more than once as part of a drop set. And so I think that's more than I was doing before. So hopefully once this wrist and this shoulder is healed, I'll be pressing, a fair bit more again. And that's great. So I used to be able to bench 150 kilograms. My mate says I got to 160, but I don't remember that. You'd think I'd remember that. So I only ever say 150, but I always thought I'm never going to reach that number again because it's not one of my primary goals at the moment. I'm only getting older, but who knows, you know, that felt good. 135 kilograms for 5 reps is obviously very different on the machine versus a bench, but it seems to be progress. So yeah, without too much effort, focus on it. Often I find I progress more in areas where I'm not focusing. Like I'll focus on it, hit a plateau, get really annoyed, switch to something else, and then meanwhile, whilst I'm kind of keeping something on the back burner, it starts to actually do a lot better. There is science in that we could go into, but I'm not going to go into it now. So yeah, that was frustrating. And then I just did leg press and some bodyweight squats for the leg range of motion. And I focused a bit more on more intense bodyweight training. So I did some planche push-ups, some ab rollouts. When I was doing those pike push-up lift-offs yesterday, I created like this weird blood reaction on my face, all these little pinpricks that stuck around for 24 hours. And I think it's still there, if you can see it, along with my lipoma, that weird lump on my head. If you've been wondering what that is, that's a benign growth. Delightful, all part of aging, really fun. But yeah, these little dots came, and it's not like I'm new to handstand training. I probably did more of the pike push-up lift-offs, the pike whatever. I did more of them than usual, so that could be that. But I really want to make that staple in my training, because it actually now feels like it's like just the right level of difficulty. And I really enjoyed doing the pseudo planche push-ups today, because I was doing it on my fingers instead of my wrists, so that was great. I'd like to do that, but I don't want my face to explode. So I'm hoping that as I adjust to it, that's going to be less of an issue. A good workout. I'm going to have a couple of days off now. I will still be doing kettlebell swings in the kitchen and that kind of thing, hand balancing if my hand's up to it. So yeah, maybe I'll share a little bit of that as well. And next week, I am going to be filming for training, and I'll be back to being off of the holiday. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I'll be bringing you along for the ride then too. So it's near the weekend. We've got some friends coming over overnight. We're going to do a games night. Should be good fun. And then I'll be back on it next week. I'm hoping to start next week with a workout outdoors. I want to be practicing a little bit more tumbling, like break falls and cartwheels, because I want to increase my agility. But I need to get outside to do that, because as much as I'm not too shy of making an idiot of myself at the gym, rolling around on the mats might be a little bit much. I might end up getting thrown out. So yeah, hopefully that all goes to plan. I'll catch you then. So I just finished my latest workout. Once again, the best laid plans of the Bioneer go astray. I was hoping, like I said, to do this kind of combination of calisthenics and rolls and stuff outdoors whilst I filmed a video. But again, the weather was like super unpredictable, like raining, sunny, which is why, by the way, there haven't been many outdoor videos on the channel recently. But again, this is the reality of this kind of training. I like training outdoors. I think it has a ton of benefits, but sometimes you just can't do it. It is what it is. So yeah, I trained instead at a different gym, Pure Gym. I'm a member of multiple gyms, but you know, it's kind of my job, so that's my excuse for that. I thought it'd be a change of scene for you guys, because I thought, you know, for all these videos, I try and make them all a little bit visually distinct. And although I'm trying to be a little bit less anal about that, I still want to ring the changes. So I went down and did the calisthenics workout, which was also a video. So it was kind of more of a traditional workout as a result of this. Rather than filming a video where I also get a bit of a workout in, it became a workout where I also filmed the video at the same time. So feeling like pretty exhausted from lots of calisthenics, more of the pike lift-offs, which are still awesome, pseudo planche push-up, that kind of thing. Did some sissy squats, did some like sissy squat dancing, which was a bit of fun. I thought potentially a TikTok there. Got kind of pain in my left hip, so I was doing pistol squats on my right side, had to stop on my left side. That's a bit of a bummer, but you know, that's what happens, not the end of the world. Sitting here having my post-workout protein shake. I like these, although they're a false economy. Stuff like this I find actually gives me less of a churny stomach than the, you know, instant whey mixed with water. I don't know why. And I've got a bit of a funny stomach, maybe from too much alcohol mixed food over the weekend. Oh, and I did buy myself a new Sonic the Hedgehog bag and new headphones, which is pretty cool. I feel like because I'm talking to you guys, it makes me more likely to do this sort of thing. So if this carries on, this vlogging, then you guys can be like my therapists. so thanks for that. Anyways, I'm off now home to eat a pasty that my wife has bought us, which is protein, not the healthiest, but it is protein. Hey there guys, so I'm sitting outside waiting for my therapy appointment. Thought I'd just quickly recap over the week. And yeah, I go to therapy. I think it's something that a lot of people can benefit from, just, having someone to talk to. I'm a very happy guy on the whole, but I have experienced some trauma in my life, so it's good to work through that occasionally. And also, it's just another form of self-improvement, self-development, brain training. You'd be surprised how it can actually affect your performance and your productivity and other things, just kind of get in your head right. So yeah, I recommend it to anyone. Does mean another chunk of time out of a very busy week. I've managed my time badly this week. I have 2 deadlines and I've got loads of time off because I'm off to see my mate's play tomorrow. He's an actor. And, it's good to support him. It's also good fun. Have a drink, go to London. Got to decide whether or not to try and film whilst I'm there or actually have a break. My wife's got an appointment this afternoon at the dentist. So I'm looking after the kids. You know how it goes. But yeah, I somehow managed to film and edit nearly 2 videos with some very late nights and get in some training. And now I'm completely spent and completely overtrained. So on Sunday, I did a little bit of my calisthenics version of my routine, just training at home, more of the pike lift-offs and the planche push-ups and things like that, just because I wanted to top up and I didn't have access to my equipment. I think it's good to have versions of your workouts that you can do in lots of different places. That's my home version of the workout. Then I did a bigger workout on Monday. My bench press has gone up. I did 10 reps of 100 kilograms really easily. I had at least 2 more left in the tank, and that was after some hand balancing, some handstand push-ups and things. So yeah, I might actually, who knows, maybe I will get back to 150. It's funny how fixing your back can solve so many problems. Had a pretty good workout on the whole, did all the usual stuff. Didn't have any building works to deal with this time. Then on Tuesday, I was filming with Liam. It was meant to be last week, but it ended up being this week. My sprinting video, which meant going to the Chilterns and sprinting up and down hills and across. And I did something like, 25 sprint drills, and a lot of them on very uneven terrain. We did some really fast running downhill, which was loads and loads of fun. We were like, going tempo running speed down a steep hill with roots everywhere, jumping over trees. I think Liam also really enjoyed it. But yeah, a sketch, you put 1 foot wrong and you would have rolled and fallen. Pretty exhilarating, a bit like downhill mountain biking, but on foot. One of those things I wouldn't recommend a lot of people to do unless they've got some experience with trail running. But I loved it. But I'm so beat up after that training, that running, that sprinting. I woke up in the morning and I knelt down. For some reason, something went pop in my knee before I did all this. And I have no knee problems normally. So, that, just these things happen. But typical, just before the day I've got to do sprinting. Somehow I got through it without ruining my knee. But I am aching in places that I can't remember, which is good because the video is all about how sprinting is a full body workout. And my body is telling me, hey, Adam, that was a full body workout. It was a lot of fun flying the drone and stuff. But yeah, then working till 1 in the morning. A lot of mornings, and I can't do the rest of my routine now because I've got some serious DOMs. Yeah, it's Thursday now. But yeah, hopefully I can fit something in tomorrow or over the weekend, get back to training because I'm making some good progress. Nice. And this is another example. Once again, poor work management and filming and stuff has kind of gotten in the way of training. That said, it was a ton of fun. So, we'll take the hit. Yeah, hopefully I can do some push-ups or something over the weekend other than the trip to London. It's a quiet weekend, so fingers crossed that I can regain the ability to squat to the ground and run before too long.
Okay.
Second last day of the month, finished what is probably going to be the last workout for this first vlog. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Went fairly well. I was feeling a bit sort of beaten up, but I managed to get some good stuff done. I did a 110 kilogram bench press for 5 reps. I could have squeezed out a few more, so that was good. I can obviously do heavier than that, but it's been a while since I've been training this heavy, just because, you know, I had a slew of injuries, and you kind of like, I don't know, you lose your nerve, you get the yips. You think, what happens if I get an injury? When I was younger, I used to bench like ridiculously heavy amounts. My friend and I would do like a pyramid set where the first weight would be our 1 rep max. You know, the spotter would be doing 90% of the work. And it didn't even occur to me, like, what could go wrong? Why that would be dangerous? But now I'm just like, what if my shoulder goes? What if my wrist goes? And I'm trapped under this really heavy weight. So I'm just easing back into it, building back up my confidence. But yeah, that's going quite well. Then I was going to do a big drop set on that, but then my left pec did kind of twinge. So I thought I'll cut it there. But then I was able to do the pike lift-offs again, so that went well. By the time I was onto the pseudo planche push-ups and the arched back pull-ups, I was starting to feel myself flag, you know, not like muscle fatigue, but like central nervous system fatigue. So yeah, that was where I decided to call it a day. There's been a bug going around my family, so, you know, I didn't want to push it too far. Actually, I was meant to be going to see my friends play on Friday, and usually when I have to cancel something, I'm quite a big introvert. I'm not shy, I just enjoy my own company a lot. So normally when something cancels, I'm kind of secretly pleased. But on this occasion, I was kind of gutted because, you know, I love going into London. He's a good friend from university. It would have been great to see his show. But unfortunately, my wife got sick and my daughter got sick. So I had to be on solo parent duty, which meant no London trip for me. Like, I was even thinking, you know, that would be cool for the vlog. I can show some footage of me going into London, you know, living the life and all this, but alas, it wasn't to be. And that is, again, the reality of parenting. You know, people are always sick because they bring home all these bugs from school, and you have to cancel everything, and, you know, all the stuff you're looking forward to, all of your, you know, you time is at a premium, and you don't get half as much as usual. So instead I spend the evening sitting down, playing on my Odin 2, my little Android handheld, emulating games including Blue Stinger and Sonic and the Dark Knight. Not a bad evening, but certainly not quite as exciting as I hoped, which is why partly, you know, it's good that I get some of the excitement I need from my training and from my job, from my filming. You know, I've done some socializing this month, but, you know, compared to when I was at uni or whatever, it's definitely diminished. You just have to put these kind of things on the back burner when you're a parent. Every evening, it's not until like 8 p.m. that the kids are finally in bed, and then we're tidying the kitchen and Hannah's prepping their stuff for school the next day. We normally then sit and watch TV a bit together for an hour to 2 hours. We're watching The Traitors at the moment. At this point, you've just got no energy. Any chores you need to do still need doing then. You know, like we're trying to book some plasterers for Emmy's room, that kind of thing. That one needs doing. I need to sort out life insurance. Something went wrong with the form, whatever. So, you know, that kind of stuff. You just want to then just collapse, you know, and do nothing. Then she goes to the bathroom. That's when I either play on my Odin for a bit, or if I'm going to sneak in an extra workout, I do it then. But again, it really depends on energy levels and mood. And I tend to kind of like dawdle around to like 12 a.m. just because I enjoy that little bit of freedom that I get from being, you know, awake when the kids and people are asleep. Then we wake up at 6 a.m. and the whole routine starts all over again. So yeah, training to be Batman is certainly a bit harder when you're a parent, but as a trainer, I think it's a good thing because it teaches me, you know, to be more understanding of, you know, potential clients or you guys and, you know, the life demands, etc. And, you know, I've always said that I think you should train to live, not live to train, and having a balance of family and fitness, etc. is really important. And none of this is to try and sound ungrateful, like not to be that kind of disgusting parent, but having kids is genuinely the most rewarding thing in the world. When they smile, it's like the purest thing. It's rejuvenating. Wouldn't change it for the world. They're hilarious. But yeah, you have to compromise a lot on your personal life. And yeah, that's kind of like a typical month for me. I've been dealing with various injuries, very typically. Had to cancel various social appointments, which is typical. Fit my workouts in around that and around the weather, very typical. And then my training has been this kind of weird hodgepodge of this fairly systemized process at the gym, combined with some random evenings of just incidental training, as I call it, and throughout the day. And then on top of that, the weird stuff I end up doing for my videos, whether it's sprinting down hills or doing something else completely different. But it gives me this kind of like broad variety, and that's what, I think gives me like a unique performance profile, because, I have to be adaptable, and I do enjoy it, and that's part of the challenge. And I enjoy the feeling of waking up achy, and I enjoy the feeling of having to fit it all in around it. It's all part of the challenge. And if I look at my physique at the start of the month and at the end, I think I've gained some muscle. I think I look a bit denser, so it's not been all bad. And it hasn't yet gotten to the point where I'm too heavy and it's taking away from, like my calisthenics. So yeah, I mean, next month, if we do this again, the goal will be to be a little bit more consistent. But otherwise, I guess we just see what happens. I have got a night out planned next month with a mate from home. So who knows, maybe that'll happen. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this vlog style video, something a bit different. Let me know if you'd like to see more like this. And if so, then I'll see you then. Either way, thanks a ton for watching. And bye for now. By the way, guys, this video was sponsored by Squarespace. So Squarespace is a website building tool. It makes it extremely easy for anybody to build their own website, while at the same time offering all of the different features that you could possibly need to build out your website to support a large business or a big project. That's why everyone from the smallest creators just looking for a hobby project to some of the largest and best known brands on the web all use Squarespace, and I personally highly recommend it. Squarespace, like I say, makes it extremely easy to build your website. You can choose from a huge range of templates, find the look you like, and then customize it with an intuitive drag and drop system. Once you've got things looking how you want, you can hit publish. It's really that easy. You can have your website up in minutes. From here, you've got access to all the features you could possibly need. You've got advanced formatting tools for creating beautiful looking blog posts. You've got a fully integrated commenting system with threaded comments, replies, and likes, social media integration, search engine optimization tools for helping more people find your site. And of course, if you want to sell a product, it's got all of the e-commerce features you could need as well. This is actually one of the easiest ways to start earning money online, especially because of some of the other advanced features. You've got things like flexible payments, so you can support Apple Pay and PayPal and whatever else. And if you provide a service, on the other hand, you can make use of the client invoicing and appointment scheduling. To find out more, go to squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Bioneer to get 10% off your first domain or website. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Thanks to you guys, and bye for now.